Today, I'm going to be going over my reading list and how I track and optimize my reading as a busy entrepreneur. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Javier Tabe. I run this channel speaking about business, entrepreneurship, and scaling your systems with paid advertising and AI. Now, if you don't know already, I read a book a week. Now, there's another video on my channel that describes this, but essentially, this is how I track reading a book a week. Now, I've been reading a book a week since this year, 2024, January the 1st. Now, it was like one of my New Year's resolutions, but I guess it wasn't really a resolution. It was more of a habit that I started to build. So essentially how I track my reading is in this Notion document here. Now, it used to be in a Google Docs as well as a Google Sheets, but it got too much of a head fuck. So I put it in this Notion document here. So what I have is the books that I've read, and I'll go over those. The books I definitely read again and just evaluate, because I do believe that because I'm doing so much reading, not all of the ideas and the value of that knowledge is sticking in my head. I'm basically like rinsing my brain with knowledge and info. So these are the books that I genuinely read again and take time out of my week and my life to read them again because of how valuable they are, how current they are, and the principles and the knowledge in those books that are curated from the authors. The authors have really put vision behind that. Now, these are all the books on my reading list. Now, you probably see a bunch of colors here, like, what the fuck? I'll explain that in 1 second, but let's start at the top. So we've got the reading scope list. This is essentially the books I kind of want to read, because when you're reading so many books, you have to organize your shit so you don't run out and then 2 days into the week, like, fuck, I've got to read a book in 5 days, and you stop the habit. So these are the books that I've seen online, seen on bookstores, seen on Amazon recommended, that I'm kind of like, damn, I kind of want to read these. Now, they don't have authors, just because nowadays I can go copy, paste, bang, I found the author, Amazon link, where to find it. So that's why when I find a book, I just put the name down. So essentially, these are the books I want to read in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in the next, I guess, year, in the next 15 weeks. So these are the legends. So basically, I haven't fully categorized it yet, but essentially what I've done is I've categorized reading books into these 8 topics. Now, obviously, these are very broad, but essentially they cover everything when it comes to reading. Now, just a quick disclaimer. I don't read fiction. Now, I'm not opposed to it. If there's a good fiction book out there, let me know in the comments. But essentially, I try and read things that develop me personally, push me forward as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a manager, and as someone delivering a service. So these are all the books that I've got. These are all the book topics that I've collected. And as you can see, you've got business, you've got mental. And our mental is essentially mental health, mentality. It's a little bit psychological, if I am being honest. Then we've got health books that are purely based on health, like this one here, sugar, salt, and fat. Social dynamics. Now, these are ones based on, I guess you could say, like, for example, pickup game, or for example, manipulation. That's social dynamics. We've got books on sex, which are purely devoted to the act as well as the, I guess, hygiene around it as well. Then you have philosophy. These are books by like Marcus Aurelius, thinkers like Sigmund Freud. But essentially, I don't care where the reading's coming from. I don't discriminate against knowledge. I just nourish myself with it. So then we've got books on spirituality, books on history and culture. Now, you probably have more of these books. I actually do want more book recommendations on history and culture. So if you do have any really good book recommendations, leave them in the comments below. I'll read all of them, I promise. So these are the books, and I haven't categorized everything. So you can see books like Cosmos by Carl Sagan. I'll probably have to search that up. I'm not going to at the moment, but I have to categorize it. But essentially here we've got, blue, Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. It's business based, so I put it in blue. Why Beautiful People Have More Daughters by Alan Miller. It's social dynamics, so I put it in green. So now you can kind of see this in real life. Michael Jordan, The Life by Roland Lasby. Now, I know this is a book that is it's kind of like the life around Michael Jordan, but also his mentality. So I put it in purple. So you can see how Notion really makes this easy, super simple. There's only 8 colors anyway. It's really no need to overcomplicate things. But essentially, these are all the books that I have on the reading list. Now, I haven't categorized these yet. I probably should. But essentially, over the next year, I'm going to make a pact and a promise to myself to read a book a week until all of these are done. Now, you're probably thinking, man, are you fucking crazy? A little bit, but also it's not always you're not always going to find, these are books about spirituality, probably the darker sides, but you're not always going to find the right information or the right author or the right message or tone and origin where that message is coming from in one book. That's why it's important to read a lot of books on different topics as well as similar topics so you can cross-reference and compare different book types. So if you have any book recommendations, leave them in the comment below. I'll go through, now I did promise this, the books I've read this year. So we've got How to Win Friends and Influence People, 12 and a Half by Gary Vee, The 1% Rule, The Good Financial Advisor, Marketing Made Simple, Crucial Conversations, Dynamic People, and the list continues to go on. Actually, that's a double. I don't know why that's in there. Get rid of that. Oh, shit. Anyway, I'll fix that one up. The 50th Law, that is a book I definitely read again. Why is that not? So again, I've just recently switched to this system, and I think it's really good. So book I read last year, so it doesn't really count. But essentially, these are the books I've read this year. There's around 40 of them. Now, again, like these are books that I know for a matter of fact that I didn't take 100% of that knowledge into my brain and apply 100% of that book into my life. That is not the point of reading these books. The point is to nourish yourself with as much knowledge as possible so that you can pick out where the best sources of knowledge for where I am in life are and continue to study them like actual textbooks. Sorry, I'm doing a bit of work here, but these are the books I read again because just of the way they're written, really good. I really like the authors, the way they wrote. The author's perspective and knowledge base is also really good, meaning the knowledge isn't just fluff and quick research. It's actually tried and tested knowledge. And essentially, they're really logical. They have logical points I can take away and restudy. So if you're not doing this and you do want a list, I can make one for you guys really quickly and share that as soon as possible. But essentially, this was just a quick video of how I track my reading. Now, I think it's really important that if you are going to go down the path of reading books to advance your knowledge as well as getting mentorship, you track it. Because if you don't track it, it doesn't get measured. Just like financial planning, just like budgeting, what you don't track doesn't get measured, and what doesn't get measured isn't looked at. And when it's not looked at, it gets ignored and you end up losing it. So same thing with knowledge, same thing with reading. That's why it's so important to track it. Again, if you do want a template like this, let me know in the comments below or directly message me on Instagram. Otherwise, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. See ya.